Hey everyone, this is Rob from Intended Consequences. We are back, baby. We are in Texas. We got our bikes. We got open roads. We've got Texas. We have got it all. And because I've been in Texas for about 2 weeks, that pretty much makes me an expert on what it's like to ride in Texas, right? We all know that it only takes about 2 weeks in an area before you learn everything there is to know. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Yeah, right. But having been and rode in Texas for the last couple years, I'll tell you this, it is different than riding in Georgia or really anywhere else I've ridden in Alabama. So we're going to talk about some things today. We're going to talk about the things I like and the things I dislike having ridden my bike around in Texas for the last couple weeks. Some of them might surprise you, some of them might be, hey, whatever. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Also, as we come to them, I'm going to discuss them. So this video might be a little bit disjointed, might hop around a little bit, but I want to make sure that you guys know some of the primary differences between riding in a state like Texas and then riding in a state like Alabama or Georgia. So we're going to talk about those things. Again, likes, dislikes, and all that good stuff. We're in Texas, baby. Let's do this. Hit the graphic. Look at that. That is gorgeous. So I'm going to tell you, the first thing I like about Texas is the weather. It's got basically year-round riding weather here. The average temperature is somewhere between 70 and 80 degrees, depending on what part of the state you're in for annual. And yeah, it gets a little bit chilly, and yeah, it gets really, really hot in the summertime. Wow, look at that view, y'all. But basically, you have really easily rideable weather all year round. And I mean, look at this. This is great. Like, I'm so excited to ride around here all year. So pumped. Gonna need a Pan America for some of these trails. But anyway, y'all, I gotta say, that's my first like, is the weather situation. Yeah, it's gonna be hot. I got this ventilated jacket, air's coming through, I got moisture wicking shirt underneath, so it's gonna help. But the main thing is that while it can get very hot and rehydrate, and maybe I'll do a video on hot weather riding later, the one thing is year-round riding. That's great. Now, something I don't like about Texas and its motorcycle laws is there's actually no helmet law here. So like Florida and some other states, if you have insurance and stuff and you're an adult, you don't have to wear a helmet. Now, kids still have to wear helmets, but adults don't. Now, why don't I like that? Well, obviously, everyone has a right to make their own dumb decisions, for sure, right? I'm over here, I'm riding with one hand on a twisty road I really haven't been down before. So maybe that's not the best idea. But, you know, for me personally, like, you're not going to escape a head injury if you go down on a motorcycle. Like, you're just not, unless you're just like the luckiest person in the world, right? So the helmet is a lifesaver, even if it's just a half helmet or a quarter helmet. I like the full, but you know, to each their own. But to have no helmet at all, and you have guys pull out in front of you like this, to have no helmet at all is just begging to have people dying or being very, very, very seriously injured, like left and right. And it's really irresponsible. You know, at a bare minimum, you wear a helmet, right? Bare minimum. And Texas is like, nah, you can have the choice. So I don't like having that choice. I don't like people having that choice. I don't want to see anybody killed on a motorcycle. I don't want to see anybody seriously injured on a motorcycle. And yeah, the helmet is no guarantee that those things still won't happen, for sure. But the science is there, the studies are there. So to just ignore that and say, hey, it's cool, don't wear a helmet if you don't want to, is very irresponsible to me. And it's something where most states do have a helmet law, and Texas just has to be one of those states that don't. And I don't like that. I'm still going to wear a helmet no matter what. Certainly I'm going to encourage everyone around me to wear a helmet. I'm going to encourage you to wear a helmet, whether you got a law or not. Wear your helmet, folks. But I don't really care for that. I think that's a bit irresponsible. Alright, so we're about to get on the interstate here, and there's something that I like and something that I dislike, and I'm going to try to explain it while we're on the interstate. Hopefully the sound comes through and it's not too terribly bad. But I think it's really important to point out these two things. Again, one I like, one I dislike. So first thing that I like is 75 mile an hour speed limit. Check it out. There it is right there. Oh, baby. 75 miles an hour on the interstate. Rock and roll. Woo, still 75. I'm alive. I don't know why I need to shout. Alright, so let me explain something that I dislike about Texas roads. So here we are on interstate, I-14. It's just like any other interstate, that's not it. But if you notice, you got these roads running on either side of the interstate, alongside the interstate. Right, you can just kind of follow me as I'm discussing this. And they're one-way roads though. They're not two-way, they're one-way roads. And the reason they're one-way roads is because Texas, different than anyone else, doesn't put the exits on the tops of ramps or stuff like that. They put it in the middle of this road. So it has to be one way because you have cars getting off the interstate on basically the right side. So in that instance, you gotta come off. So you see these cars are gonna get off over here, and they're not getting off at an intersection or anything. They're just getting off onto a road. And then now they're on a one-way road that's parallel to the interstate. And the same goes for this side going the other direction. So it's extremely frustrating. So let's say hypothetically, let's pick something here. Let's pick, man, I don't know, that Motel 6 right there. Let's say we want to go to that Motel 6. Well, I can't get off the interstate and just go. I have to loop all the way around. Here, I'll show you. So here, I'm going to get off. And you're going to see I'm not going to get off. Well, let's say Walgreens. Let's just go to this Walgreens over here. I can't just turn around and go to the Walgreens. I got to loop all the way around. So here we are. We're getting off in the interstate. And already you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Like you're just on this road, right? That's it. This is a one-way road. It's parallel to the interstate. Now I can either stay in this lane and get back on the interstate, or I can get off and I can go straight, I can go right, but I'm gonna loop around. I gotta loop around, right? So that's what we're gonna do because we're going back to the Walgreens. I'm like, oh my goodness. Now if I'm going to the Hobby Lobby or the T-Mobile or something, I'm fine. So that's why Texas has, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you see this kind of uniquely, they have turnarounds, which is just a lane dedicated for looping around on these one-way roads. So this is gonna take me right on over to the one-way road going the other direction. And it's nice. I like this. There's no red lights or stop signs or anything like that. And I can just loop around and yield onto this one-way road right here. And so now we're going the other. We're on the one-way road going on the other side of the interstate. Now, this is relatively easy because I'm filming this on a Sunday morning and there's not that much traffic. But now here's the pickle, right? So now I'm looking for traffic right here. I can get back on the interstate over here, or I can keep going straight, right? I'm going to, I've even lost it. I'm not entirely sure where it went. Oh, it's way down there. It's even further down than I wanted to go. Holy smokes. Now we're in real big trouble. So I have to go down another exit. Anyway, you guys get the point. I'm not going to go to Walgreens. I'm going to do this other turnaround and head back the other way. I'm just saying that this one-way streets that parallel the interstates they're not hard to figure out. No, it didn't take very long to, the first day was like, what is all this? And there's the Walgreens on the corner. So I could have taken a right and done that, but I want to go back this direction. So I have a couple more points I want to make before we end this video. Now, so something I like that they can do in Texas is called lane filtering. And not to be confused with lane splitting. Lane splitting is when all the cars are in motion and a motorcycle kind of weaves in between the lanes to get ahead. Lane filtering is when all the cars are stopped at a red light and there's a space between the cars, and motorcycles can slowly and carefully maneuver through the cars and put themselves at the head of the line. Now, I've been driving around for the last 30 minutes trying to get to a red light to demonstrate this tactic, and they've either all turned green or there were open lanes, so I didn't have to filter. Like right here, like there's nothing to filter. So I'm just explaining it, and feel free to Google it on your own, because I don't think I'm going to get to it. But you get to lane filter here in Texas, and that's pretty darn cool. Oh my gosh, I get to lane filter. I can't believe it. I'm gonna do it in front of this truck, so I'm gonna carefully, I'm not gonna go between, I'm gonna come around this side and cut in front of this guy, because I totally can. That is lane filtering, and it is totally the law in Texas. Now some states you can't do it. Matter of fact, a lot of states you can't do it, so check your local state laws to make sure if you were going to lane filter that you're not actually breaking the law. But I wasn't breaking the law. That was completely legal what I just did. And I'm really excited because I finally got to show you guys what it kind of looked like a little bit. So there's that. Now instead of being behind that big dumb truck, I am in front of it and I don't have to wait up for it. Let's talk about what I dislike the most, and that is the roads in Texas. At least in this area. So I guess it's something about the sediment or the sand or the dirt underneath, but there's a lot of potholes, there's a lot of cracking. This road is actually the worst. You can see they're repaving it because it's just been so bad. And that's in the last 2 weeks. When I first, like, look at this stuff. Look at all this nonsense on the road. This road is notorious. Now they're repaving it, and that's just been in the last couple of weeks, but I'm gonna ride on the bad side so you can kind of see. It's the paving on this road is garbage. And I mean, you can see right here, you know, I'm riding it, and you can see the cracks and this is actually pretty tame. The worst stuff was in here, and they've repaved it. I'm assuming they're going to repave this section too, but it's not just this road. This road is just the worst offender. But it's all over the place. You have to be really sharp for potholes, big cracks and divots in the road, uneven roads, bumpy. It's just a nightmare. And I just assume that it's something about Texas and the way the earth is and how erosion works. I'm not like really smart on that stuff, but I do know that it's kind of common, and that's unfortunate because I'm gonna go ahead and get the smooth part. It's unfortunate because that's what's going to take us out on motorcycles. That's why I dislike it the most. So I mean, you can see on these roads, I mean, look at this thing right here, whatever that is, right? So, and this is my point, this is why I dislike this the most, is this is very dangerous for motorcycles. You hit one of these, you're in a curve, you're not paying attention, you could blow a tire, you could lose traction and slip out, any number of things. And you take the piss poor roads, and look, you can see the whole like right side of this lane is just all tore up. And this is everywhere. I'm not just picking on a road. This is everywhere. You take this and you couple it with, like, let's say no helmet laws. So you put motorcycles already on dangerous roads that probably shouldn't be ridden at all. And then you say, oh, you don't have to wear a helmet, so if you crash, you know, split your head wide open. I mean, look at that. That's my problem. That is my biggest dislike. And that's a pretty significant one. You definitely got to watch your speed on roads you've never been down. It really makes you as the rider pay very strict attention to the road, because you just never know when the next pothole or huge crack is going to show up, and you want to get around that. But all in all, I've really enjoyed my time here in Texas. There's a lot of good riding. There's a lot of hilly, twisty roads that I've discovered. I'm looking forward to taking you guys down. So please don't take my criticisms. You know, the road conditions and the helmet law are pretty serious. The one-way road, that's just kind of inconvenient and weird for someone who's new to riding it or driving in Texas, but it's not the end of the world. And then of course there's a lot of things I like. So that's kind of been my impression. So we're in Texas now, folks, so all videos moving forward will probably be in Texas. And if you like this sort of thing, please like and subscribe. And remember, guys, keep the rubber side down. And I will see you next time.